Hey folks, this is Dr. K, and I'm in this video. I'm going to try to do my best to show you how to transfer a project basically transfer your project from Project 2, the code from Project 2, into the React code of Project 3. I'm not going to finish everything, but at least I'll give you an idea how to get a good start on that. All right, so I've already downloaded the sample code from Project 3. Where did that go? It should be called Another Bookstore. Here it is. Another Bookstore React Vite. Okay, so I'm going to drag that into my working directory, CS5244, and I'm just going to rename that because I'm going to want you to rename that project with your name. My name's Dr. K, DRK. Oops. Let's try that again. DRK Bookstore React. And I'm just going to say React Client because this is my client. Okay, so now I got a folder called DRK Bookstore React Client. I am going to go to my terminal, all right, and I'm going to go to my working directory, which is CS5244, and this is going to be my React client that I'm going to transform. Right now, it's just the starter code. It's another bookstore, but I don't want it to be called that. This is my project 2 that I'm going to use to transform the starter code from project 3. So let's go to DRK Bookstore React Client. Okay, I am in here. Remember, this is my starter code, so I'm just going to do npm CI, and that, I think it stands for continuous integration, but I always think of it as just a clean instance or something like that, because basically it just clears out all your node packages and recreates them. So I'm going to do that. I've got a couple issues, but I should have node modules folder now, whereas I didn't before. And I'm just going to go to npm run dev, and that should run my code and give me a port. I think it's 5173. And yes, it does, 5173, and this is another bookstore. So I'm just going to click on this, and there it is. This should be what the starter code looks like, and you've got this category menu, and you can flip through these. And this is already React based. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get it looking like our project 2. Where is my project 2? My project 2 is right here. Okay, it is my bookstore hero HTML, and if I hit the live server with this, that's what my project 2 looks like. And I can go, and I've got these books, and I've just got one category page because that's all I needed, but you can kind of see that I do have a drop-down menu. I can get back to the welcome page, and I got a nice big hero image on my welcome page. I'm very proud of this design. Unfortunately, not everything. There's a few glitches in it still functionally, but I'm working on them. Okay, so excuse me. Here's what I want things to look like. And this is in my VS Code. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up my IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate. This is no longer what I want. I'm going to open CS5244 Dr. K Bookstore React client. Okay, and if I actually run this, well, let's run it now. Let me get my terminal window here. If I actually run this, I will get the starter code. Okay, I will get this. Now, what I just realized was this is at 5173. If I run this inside from IntelliJ, I will get a port 5174 because 5173 is already taken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my terminal and I'm going to hit Command C, and that stops this instance. Okay, so now port 5173 should be free again. If I go to IntelliJ and I hit npm run dev, it should give me 5173. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to run this at 5173. I'm going to get rid of this. This is the one I want to see this change. So I'm going to keep this page open. I'm going to keep this page open. I'm going to put it right here as kind of a reference page. That's the same one. And this is my project description. Okay. So let's go from here to here, or, you know, somewhat close. We're not going to get it exact. So a couple things I want to do. I want to open Visual Studio Code. There's where my project 2 is. I'll just put it on this side of the screen. And IntelliJ IDEA, this is where my project 3 is. I'm going to put it on this side of the screen. I'm going to hide the terminal so I have a little bit more room. And let's see, I think the first thing I want to do, or the first thing I want to say is with regard to the starter code, the first thing you guys probably have to do is fix DB.json, okay? And this is the DB.json file. This is basically your mock database, all right? So you have these categories. If you have categories, my hero image project does not have category images. But actually, I think that's irrelevant because you still need the categories. I'm sorry, you still need the categories for the drop-down menus and things like that. So, yes, you want to put your own categories in here, not classics, fantasy, mystery, romance. Okay, put your own categories in there and put your own books in here. All right, and each of them will be from a particular category. Like Little Dorrit is from the category classics, which is what corresponds to 1001. Watership Down is from the category fantasy, I think, which corresponds to 1002, and so on. All right, so you want to populate this mock database with your own books. Now, what I do want to say is you want to also name your you want to also rename your images if you haven't done so already so that they correspond to the titles of your book. So we've got a function in this code that like changes the title of a book, Little Dorrit, to all lowercase letters separated by a dash, and it adds a JPEG or something like that. You can always look up the function and change that to a GIF or a JPG if you want. That should be no big deal. Okay, but that is what's going to happen. And I think what the function does also, if there's like an apostrophe in there, it just removes it. Okay. So you'll have to do some renaming of your image files. Okay, so let's see. So that's the db.json. Let me see what else we've got in here. And then we've got these components. These are the React components. All right, the TSX files correspond to the HTML. Like here's a TSX file for the app footer. Okay, and if you look at this, this is basically a function that returns some HTML. Now this is not strict HTML. This is called JSX or TSX. For example, if it was pure HTML, this would just be class equals button. But because it's JSX or TSX, because we're using TypeScript, we have to use class name. So there's little changes, but it's basically HTML. Okay. And then every one of these components with HTML in it has a corresponding CSS file associated with it. So if you look at this appfooter.tsx, you can see that I'm importing appfooter.css right at the top of this file. Okay. So basically you can think of these as going together, and the way I named them, they're right next to each other. Okay. All right, what else? We talked about the db.json. We talked about the renaming of the book images. And now I want to go ahead and I want to fix my vite-config file. And if I can find it, there it is, vite-config ts. Okay, so you can see that the vite-config ts has this base property, and it's called another bookstore. What you want to call this is your name. Mine is Dr. K, bookstore React. Okay, and this should match, we didn't talk about the server side yet, but this should match the application context in your run configuration in your server app. Okay, if you did the client server app, you'll know what that means. Okay, but you'll eventually have to create a server app in IntelliJ that goes along with the client app. Okay, so I'm going to call mine Dr. Bookstore React. Okay, and I'll go ahead and save that. All right, and the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that the Font Awesome icons are in here. And the Font Awesome icon, the kit code should be, and everybody should get their own kit code. Don't just use mine. Even though it's in here and you can use it, but if I would change that kit code, it would break your code. All right, so you don't want to rely on mine. I might change it sometime during the course of the semester. So make sure you get your own Font Awesome kit code. And index HTML is right there. It is under the main project folder, Dr. K Bookstore React Client. Okay. And you can see that there is no script that has the kit code here. So I'm just going to go over here to my index.html, and you can see that beginner of header drop down. Okay, so here's where I import the font awesome icons in this little script section. I'm going to copy that, and I put it right after the meta here, so I'll put it right after the meta here. And boom. Okay, so now I should have font awesome icons in my project. And let's see, what is the next step? The next step is adding my global CSS to project 3. And that's pretty important because, well, that's going to, well, actually, let me show you why that's important. If you see, yeah, I'm going to do a hard reload of this page. That means I'm going to hold down Shift and reload this page. Okay, because I changed the base URL, that's probably why it's complaining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to IntelliJ IDEA, and I'm going to bring up my terminal. I hid my terminal window, and I wonder if I can get it back. All right, right off the bat, I do not know how to get my terminal window back. So I'm going to go ahead and get a new terminal window. And I'm going to do a Control-C and see if that... Okay, yeah. Okay, so I did the Control-C. This is my original terminal window. Now, if I do a npm run dev, it should give me 5173. I think that freed that up. In fact, I just... let's do that. And... yeah, I'll go ahead and click on this. And yeah, this is looks like the starter code, okay, which is fine. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the global CSS. And when I change the global CSS of this starter code, that should already, I think that will already change some things in here. So let's go ahead and see if it does. All right, so here's my IntelliJ, and my global CSS is under assets, I believe. Yeah, there's my global CSS. So I'm going to choose that. And then I'm going to go to my project 2, which is in VS Code. And I'm going to find my global CSS here. It's probably under CSS. And there it is, global CSS. So I'm going to go over here. This is my global CSS for project 2. And I'm going to copy that whole thing. And I'm going to go ahead and select all here and just replace everything. And save it. Now let's look and see if that hot reloaded. Yes, it did. So you can see I'm getting closer, like the header and the footer background color are black, which is correct. I've still got this other stuff in here, but at least I changed something. But I noticed that I don't have like the icons. I think I just don't have HTML for this header. So let's see, what do I want to do next? I did the font awesome thing. I did the global CSS thing. And okay, the next thing I say in the project description is you want to go to your project 2 and you want to go to, like, say, index HTML. And you want to comment this. So we've got these components in project 3. They're already there for us. So you want to try to figure out which HTML is going into which component. And I've already done that here to a certain extent. Like here I say, oh, this is going to be the beginning of the app header component. And this is going to be the beginning of the header drop-down component. And this is going to be the end of the header drop-down. This is going to be the end of the app header. So I kind of have an idea of how I'm going to get this HTML into these TSX components. All right. And remember, these TSX components are just functions that return HTML or something that's HTML-like. So I think fix up the header component was my next suggestion. So let me go ahead and try to fix up the header component. Here's the beginning of the header drop-down component, and here's the end of the header drop-down component. So I'm going to copy this HTML. And I'm going to go over to Project 3 code. And this is going to be my app header TSX. Okay, I want to put the code here. Now I'm going to expand on this because I want to be careful with what I do here. I want to keep this import. I want to keep this import. In fact, I want to keep all the imports. In fact, the HTML is what I'm returning. So I want to substitute what I'm with what I'm returning here. Okay, this is my header. I think what I'm going to have to do is I think I'm just going to put a couple returns in here, and then I'm going to paste this code, and I know I'm going to get some errors here. I want to get rid of that. Okay, div class header drop down. Why did I go to header dropdown? Did I? Yeah, I messed up. I shouldn't have done this header dropdown. This is the header class, so I'm going to go back and get rid of this. Okay, I want the app header. So the app header component starts here. It starts with the header tag. Okay, and there's the header drop down, and there's the end of the header drop down, and there's the end of the header tag. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste this into there. Okay, and I can see that this says the beginning of the header drop-down component, and the way I call my header drop-down component is using the React router or using React components is I I just do this header dropdown right there. So that's all I'm doing to call my header dropdown component. So I'm going to copy that, and where it says beginning of header dropdown component, all the way up to where it says end of header dropdown component, I'm just going to delete that, and I'm going to put in header dropdown. And now this is the end of my header, and this is the code that I left in there. This is from the starter code, and I think I can delete this safely. Yeah, I think I can delete this. I think the only thing I want to do, yeah, I think I am going to delete it. Okay, so I'm going to delete this. Let's see what happens. I might have to come back and fix it. And there's a header. Okay. So now this is my header. This is going to be a problem I see already because this IntelliJ doesn't really know where this image is. So I'm going to have to clean that up. Import link from React Router DOM. It's giving me a red line there. That's because I'm not using it. I'm just going to comment this out for now because I am going to use that. And now I am going to save this, and I'm going to look at Chrome and see what I got. Okay, I got my bookstore logo here. I got my categories menu down here. I don't really want that. I got a search bar that is not styled. So I think what I got is I'm going to assume that I got my HTML in this header correct, but I don't have the styling. I don't have the CSS. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to get the app header CSS. Okay? So I am going to select all, copy this, and then I'm going to go back to project 3. And where's my app header CSS file? It's right there. I'm going to select that all, and I'm just going to paste into that there. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to see what has changed. And look at that. Wow, already amazing. Even my cool search bar works now, and my categories are over here. Now, I don't have a hamburger menu here because this all is part of the header dropdown, and I didn't change that piece of project 3 yet. I've got similar things, but I want to fix this bookstore logo here. Okay, so let me do that. That means I have to go back to @header tsx. And this is the problem. It can't find this image. This image is in public. Yeah, it's in public site images, bookstore logo PNG. Actually, oh yeah, I'm sorry. This is still project 2 stuff, so I need to change my images. Yeah, I need to put my book images in there and my category images and my site images in there. So I'm just going to open up a couple of Finder windows here. And let's see, this is CS5244. I'm going to go into Dr. K Bookstore React Clients. I'm going to look at my images here, book images, category images. And actually, like I said, I don't actually have any category images, but I do have book images and site images. So I'm going to go to, I am going to go to where? Developer, CS5244. And I'm going to get those images from my project 2. And there's my books. These are all JPEGs. I think these are all GIFs here. So it's not going to make a difference if I just need the books. From here, I'm going to copy these into book images. So in Mac, you just hold down the Option, copy them into book images. And for my site images, I think the glasses on book is the logo I want. Oh, and Murder on the Orient Express. I will eventually need that. Can't remember if I want the PNG. Yeah, I want the PNG here. And my bookstore logo. No, I don't want that. Actually, do I? I forget. Let me go ahead and look at. So here's my bookstore. No, I have the cool logo that blends in, that has transparency on it. So that's the one I want. I want to have glasses on book that's transparent, and I want to have Murder on the Orient Express, my hero image. And I'm just going to copy these into site images. Okay. So here they are. I'm going to hold down the Option key to copy into site images. And now I should have the book images I need. Actually, let me go ahead and shop books. Oh, okay, that's not working. I want to go to mystery. Okay, yeah, and these. Oh, I'm sorry. That's project 2. Okay, sorry, I was getting hopeful there. If I go to categories here, no, I still get like Watership Down and yeah, I still get the old book images because the new book images are square. Okay, so I copied the images over. At least I got that, and this is what I want to focus on now: the logo. So let's go to project 3, and because this is right under public, I can just say /site images here, and then glasses on book PNG is the correct logo. And I don't think I need these. All right, I'm not going to mess with that, but I don't think I need those. And I'm going to see what we get in Chrome. Okay, let's see. This is, yes, this is HtmlToReact TS. So this is my project 3, and I do have that book image now. Very cool. Oh, that's interesting. This local host page cannot be found. That's a problem. So let's go back in and see what I am doing here. Oh, that's because I'm still using an anchor tag. And since we're doing it in React, we have to change these anchor tags to a link tag. Okay. And it says link has not been imported. That's because we commented that out. And now, and instead of href, we're going to use 2. And in fact, because where did we define? Yeah, we're defining our routes here, okay? This is with the React router. And so we're saying that the slash, if you say slash, it goes to the welcome page. If you say category, and name the category, it will go to the category page. Okay, so I want to say 2//. All right, in my app header tx right here, instead of href, I want to say 2 equals /. And then I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now I think it will take me, okay, oops, let me do a shift reload, and now I think it will take me to the welcome page with the hero image. Oh, and I didn't change the HTML of the welcome page, so I'm not getting the hero image. I'm not going to worry about the hero image in this video, but I do think I want to fix this menu. Since I've got almost all the rest of the header working, I want to see if I can get my hamburger menu there. So that menu is a component. That is the header drop-down component. And you can see that in index.html, I say, again, because I have done very good commenting, this is my header drop-down. End of header drop-down components. Okay, right. So I want to copy this, and I want to go over here to my header drop-down TSX. And actually, I want to keep these category nav links here because it's hard to change over everything from an anchor tag to a link. And I've already kind of done that in my starter code. So really, the only thing I want to change is this button. Okay, this button right now in the starter code says categories, but I want that to be my hamburger menu button. So I'm just going to copy this and replace this piece here with that. And now I want to make sure is I want to make sure that I now get the header drop-down CSS. Okay, that's my styling. I'm going to select all, copy that, come back here, and here's my header drop-down CSS. Boom. And I want to replace it with that. And let's see if that fixes my header drop-down menu. Yep, this is Project 3, Vite React TS. And look at that. That's pretty good. And I'm still, getting my old category content here, and I still have to fix that so it's a hero image. But I think that's enough to give you an idea of what you have to do to migrate from Project 2 to Project 3. It really takes there's a lot of administration. It's really an administrative task to a large extent. You have to know what code you're copying where, and if you make a mistake, you have to know how to fix it. Okay, but I think that will give you a good start, and for moving from Project 2 to Project 3. Okay, folks, that's it for this video. Good luck on that. And as always, if you run into issues, ask on Piazza.